All right, let's get into it. Pressing record here. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Unscheduled CEO podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Courtney, and this week I'm just getting straight into it. Maybe at some point I'll kick the intro music in, but number one, I'm in a rush. It is Black Friday week, and Black Friday week at AJ&Smart, or basically it's especially facilitator.com, is the most, we have the opportunity to basically make 40% of our entire year's profit and revenue just this week. A lot of e-commerce companies make a huge chunk of their revenue in this week, and we are one of them. So a lot of campaigns are about to kick off in 1 hour, so 1 p.m. So today's Tuesday, the 25th of November. I'm recording on the day where we're releasing, as per usual. And Black Friday, you're going to see all of our ads. You're going to see all of the AJ&Smart noise kicking off from about 2 p.m. today. So probably after this episode launches. Last year, so we're basically, what we're always trying to do, our goal is to have $1 million month in the month of November. Last year we got very, very close. We've never passed it. We've never gone past the 1 million euro. Sorry, we've never made more than 1 million in 1 month. That's not even revenue. Last year was very close. I think it was 750 or something. I don't actually think we're going to get over the million this month, although, you never know. You never know. I don't think so, but I'm not like desperate. What's this bit of food on here? I'm not like desperate for that to happen, but I actually have a pretty interesting episode for you guys today. Probably the title will say something about how to find your purpose or something along those lines. But something has clicked for me in the last week that I feel like I've been looking for the answer for a very long time. And that this topic, this podcast even, has been me a lot of the times exploring, like, what am I doing? You know, I for anyone who doesn't know, my name is Jonathan. I run a business called AJ&Smart, which is essentially a holding company of multiple different businesses, the largest one being facilitator.com. And I started AJ&Smart when I was about 22. I started it 15 years ago. And so I'm 37 now. Started in 2011, whatever math you find there. And, the first 8 years or so, there was just so much to do. There was so much. It was so like clear what my task was as the CEO, as the sort of lead on generating revenue and being the face and all of that stuff. And then, what happened was the dream that I had, of which kind of other people told me was the dream, is to build a business that runs without you, happened probably when I was about 32, maybe. So maybe 5-6 years ago, the business was running itself. I don't know the exact revenue we were at that point, maybe 4.5 million euro revenue per year with approximately 50% profit margin. And what started to happen is I started to kind of run out of things to do, and also run out of like the sort of fear that was driving me, the fear of having no money, and also the excitement of making money and the excitement of building the business. All of that started to not be able to drive me anymore. And I think 2 years ago when I started this podcast, I think it was around 2 years ago, was when I was like, I really need to find my next thing. I need to figure out what I do next, because these businesses they don't need me daily, right? Then, over time, I figured out like the bits of the business where I need to be part of, or if I'm not part of it, things start to get worse. And I also figured out like a couple of months ago, which I told you guys about, that I've realized that my role in the company is to be the promoter, to talk about the business. And this podcast is one example of that, where I'm out here talking about the business on a weekly basis, or the businesses on a weekly basis. And I'm also practicing the art of like talking and explaining myself and explaining what we do, which is a big part of my life. But I've still, on a weekly basis, I still have this sort of upset. And if you go back to the episode there's an episode I did with Jason Fried where I'm like, I don't know, man, I just feel like I lost my mojo. I don't really know what the point of this, like, what do I do? Like, what the fuck do I do? And I'm like, should I shut it down? So then I have to do something else, or, it's all of these different things. And just sort of feeling kind of like a bit uninspired and uninterested and understimulated and not feeling like working on the business. So that kind of vibe has been on and off for the last 4 years or more, where I'm like, should I just shut all this down? Should I just like make the decision to cleanly shut it all down so that I don't have to think about it anymore? Then a new thing will arise and I'll work on that. Also, if it's your first time listening to this podcast, it's unedited. So if I'm doing something else, it just goes silent. Okay. So anyway, we're talking about this purpose thing. So Laura, my fiance now, who was in the last episode, my girlfriend. So there you go. Some updates, personal life updates. Laura, who is a fucking amazing, extremely smart person who I run the business with, and who is also my fiance, who's right now taking care of like a huge bulk of the Black Friday campaign. She reminded me. So I was sitting around moping and I was like, I just don't have any energy. I feel fatigued. Maybe it's like the ADHD medication not working, whatever. And she was like, you're stuck in this loop of just, I know I'm stuck in the loop, but she kind of reminded me. But then what she said was, she remembered a call she had with one of our coaches, a guy called Brian Franklin. I always say, if you can ever afford this guy, you should hire him because he's amazing. I don't know what he charges now because I haven't worked with him in about 2 years. I also don't know if he's still doing exactly what the type of coaching. But anyway, so he was helping me through this process of like the purpose thing, and helping Laura help me with it, because obviously it was it was something that was part of her life, was me moping around about my purpose. And what he said was something along the lines, I'm actually going to read something off the screen. I'm not going to show you the screen, but I have it written here because I don't want to get it completely wrong. So he said, and some of you are going to be like, yeah, of course, blah, blah, blah. But just listen, there's some nuance here. So living your purpose, like purpose, isn't about some big future goal or state. And you're now already thinking, if you have ADHD and you're listening to this, you're like, yeah, it's about being present. Wait a second, guys. Wait a second. I'm not that basic, all right? I'm going to give you a bit more than that, all right? Imagine if I just finished this sentence with, then just be... Okay, so living your purpose is not about some future goal or state. Purpose, the sense of purpose and the kind of positive feelings that come from it, this flow state, this feeling of kind of contentment from having a purpose, is about bringing your special, unique traits into everything you do as much as you possibly can every day. So it's about bringing the things that make you weird and special, the things that you are doing anyway, the things that make you kind of different from other people, and the things that you can uniquely do and other people find maybe tricky or can't do it as well as you, into everything you're doing, basically. And if we focus this on a work focus, like a career focus, this podcast is the perfect example for me, because I'm sitting here. So Brian Franklin kind of identified some of the unique things he notices about me. He was talking to Laura, so there was a mix between me and Laura. But just to keep the example simple, he said, "I am highly mischievous. Like I like to make mischief. I like to make little jokes. I like to kind of fuck around and be silly, and like I'm like a mischievous person in the class." He said, "I'm also like have an extreme level of like irreverence that like oozes off me, that I don't want to take things serious. Like I see people taking something seriously and I'm just like, oh my God, like I need to make the not serious version of this. This seems too silly." So this sense of irreverence, and that things are like, and it emanates from the AJ&Smart brand. Like every interaction you have with the AJ&Smart brand, there's something in there where like a corporate will buy something from us, and like a new employee joining AJ&Smart will be like, "Oh yeah, but we should take that out because that's not going to be okay for the corporate." And we say, "No, we're keeping that in. They're also humans. They also might find this funny." And so the sense of irreverence. He also said that myself and Laura also really love showing people what is possible, like showing them the possibility of where they could go and what could happen. And sometimes that's even like getting excited and showing someone a product that we love, and or showing them, "Oh my God, you could do this and this would be really cool." And we just get excited about showing people what is possible. It's something that just we both get excited about. And the other thing was, and you can see these are kind of blurry traits. They're not like clear things. The other thing is that I like to look at how a system is working, and I like to do it a different way. So for example, business podcasts are not supposed to be one guy sitting in his fucking messy room, unedited, not interviewing people, completely stream of consciousness. This is not what a podcast, this is not what an entrepreneurial podcast is supposed to be like, but this is how I want to do it. And so this is like a perfect example of me looking at the system and being like, no, that's not how I want us to do it. Another example of that is when we first started doing online courses. IDEO was already doing courses. Other companies were already doing courses. But I was looking at how they were doing them, and I was like, they just put them on a website and then wait for people to buy them. I don't want to do that. And so I waited until I was kind of looking around, and then funnels were the thing that clicked for me. And nobody in our space was doing funnels. We 100% introduced funnels into anything in the creative or facilitation or design space. That just wasn't there. And I know it because people were so annoyed when we first started doing them. Like when we did our first webinar like 10 or 11 years ago, every single person in my industry was like, "That's just fucking stupid. Now everyone's doing it." So for me, when I embody these things, so when I'm getting to be silly, a little bit childish, being able to have do things in the exact format that I want, get people excited about stuff, be a bit mischievous, like you read into that. Like I just have if I'm able to express those things many times during a day or during a week, I actually feel a sense of purpose. I actually feel like it's more that I don't feel I'm lacking purpose. And when I'm not able to express those things, meaning I'm doing things where those things are just not really required to be expressed, then I start to get a bit depressed. So for example, speaking at a conference a couple of weeks ago, you saw that I spoke at this Why Oslo conference. I went on stage. I did a complete improv session. There was music like in this podcast. I did a review of chocolate. I was having a lot of fun with the audience. I basically did it like I modeled it off a stand-up comedy session. And that felt great. If I had to go up there and do slides and just do it in the way everyone else was doing it, it really would make me feel depressed. It would make me feel like this is pointless. And I would start to think a lot about what my purpose is. And so broadly, this is going somewhere, by the way. Broadly, if you are able to, first of all, identify what those special, unique things about you are, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a sec. And then number two, look at where can I bring these into what I'm doing? And it doesn't just have to be work, it can be life as well, right? It can be, well, I am someone who uniquely is very good at getting people in a group to have interesting conversations. Well, maybe you can do that with your friends, right? And what I've been doing now in the last 2 weeks, and Laura's been helping me with this, is looking at my calendar. I know this is called Unscheduled, but look, I'm putting stuff in the calendar that I want to put in. So I'm looking at my calendar, and for the first time in maybe like 6-7 years, I'm adding things in, and I'm like, this will satisfy these sort of, this is where I'm going to be able to really express these traits and really get this stuff out of me. This podcast is one of them. And I want to go further. I want to go further than this podcast. And I think Unscheduled, this sort of brand Unscheduled, is now revealing itself to me to be sort of like the container for my traits to really be expressed and my unique talents to really be expressed. And especially because I do believe that AI is going to wipe out a lot of things and make a lot of jobs irrelevant. I think nothing is more protective for my brand than me expressing those traits as clearly as possible and not hiding them. Because that will just make it so that I stand out. And I think it's the same thing for you guys. And AJ&Smart people misunderstand. Some people get it, but often people misunderstand why AJ&Smart stands out as a brand. It's not because of how the branding looks. It's nothing about this. We're very different. We're very weird. A very strange company that's hard to predict. There's not that many companies as successful as AJ&Smart where the CEO is sitting here on a podcast that almost nobody listens to, burping, rambling, and whatever the fuck this is. Everyone's too serious and worried about their brand. Everyone's too, when other CEOs see me doing this, they're like, oh, that wouldn't work for my clients. I'm like, our clients are all the biggest banks and all of these things. Our clients are the ones you want. And they're also watching this podcast and they're also booking us. You just don't get it. It's about people can tell that we are being real. And that's the thing that becomes attractive to clients. And that's the thing that attracts the revenue in, is the realness and the sense that this brand is not a faceless thing. I'm hearing so many fucking clicks and pops right now. It's pissing me off. It sounds like a static thing. Ellie, next year we're solving this, dude. Okay, so I want to announce something right now, actually, which is kind of like a soft launch, I guess. So I've decided that this Unscheduled thing is going to be sort of my umbrella going into next year, where I want to do a lot more stuff, a lot more things that basically allow me to keep expressing all of these values, because I truly believe that is this thing that supersedes the need for a clear purpose statement. And so today I am launching a Patreon. And if anybody doesn't know what a Patreon is basically like actually I should have thought of what a Patreon is like before I said I'm launching a Patreon. A Patreon is a place where, first of all, it's like a hub for me to put the stuff that I'm doing. For example, I'm currently recording a vlog of our Black Friday week at AJ&Smart. So it's basically a week of my life during Black Friday. And you get to see me running the various businesses inside the AJ&Smart umbrella. But I am shooting it with my phone and Laura's shooting it with her phone. So it's in the unscheduled, chaotic style. It's not like, clean looking or anything, but it will give you a real look at what like the biggest week where we make the most money at AJ&Smart looks like from the inside. But also the fact that, this morning I just did a 1.5 hour breathwork session, and then I'll be going to this on. Like it'll show you the real kind of different things that are happening during an average week. Not an average week. It is a special week in my life, because I thought that might be interesting. And so this is a hub for things like that. It's a place where I can experiment. But actually what a Patreon is, it's a place where you can give money to this unscheduled project. The membership option that I have there right now is €4.50 per month. And what that does is, okay, you get some exclusive content. There's going to be some vlogs. You'll get some stuff early that comes out on this YouTube channel later. But mainly what you're doing is you're enabling me to be able to use more resources to do this. Because currently, Unscheduled is sort of like a side project. And for me, I always find it easier to kind of get excited about something when the video game of it is more real. And so, for example, I know this Patreon won't make much money. It's not like going to compare to one corporate deal at AJ&Smart or something. But let's say it's making €1,000 per month or something. Well, then I can be like, I can take Ellie, the videographer, off one of these AJ&Smart projects for like 1 day a week or something. And then we can do more stuff, right? That's kind of the idea. So you can go to patreon.com/unscheduled. Yes, I got that domain. I'm very happy about that. And the first article is on there as well. And it's like a deep dive into this purpose topic. And I go into a lot more. I basically go into, and I'll explain it here, the point of the entire Unscheduled thing. So this entire podcast and everything that comes from it, it's to help me feel a sense of purpose and express all of these traits and make sure that I'm not sitting around and rotting and doing things I don't want to do. But in the result of that, ideally, is that everything I create under this Unscheduled brand helps you do the same. It helps you figure those things out for yourself and reminds you to do the same. So this podcast, if I'm thinking about what's the point of it, it's not about you making more money. It's not about entertaining you. It's about exposing you to things and concepts and vibes that help you do things and create things that are in line with what makes you actually unique, and to double down on those things. That's the point of this podcast. That is the point of the entire Unscheduled CEO, Unscheduled thing. With that, let's do the intro music. Welcome to the Unscheduled CEO. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's Tuesday. Come on, guys, what's happening? Welcome to the Unscheduled CEO, everybody. It is Tuesday, and join up on that Patreon. There's a free tier That's just so you get reminder. Honestly, look, I'm just trying this out. I'm always looking for what's the action I can take to make the thing happen. And I've always been fascinated with Patreon. Patreon represents the anti-algorithmic social network where where I can just focus on creating things that I really want to create and not being popular. And so Patreon is going to be an experiment, which I'm starting it now. The first exclusive piece of content on Patreon will likely be this Black Friday week vlog. Maybe I can get that out next week. I'm going to be recording all this week. You'll even see in that vlog us guessing how much money we're going to make. Also, it really shows you what it's like to work inside a company like AJ&Smart and how I run it. So that'll be the first exclusive piece of content that'll land there in the next 2 weeks. I'm still trying to get the whole thing set up though. But you're mainly, if you're paying the $4.50 or whatever, what you're doing is you're just saying, I want to support stuff like this, which doesn't necessarily have a clean way to make money. And it also just signals to me that I should do more of this stuff. And yes, it doesn't mean I've stopped trying to get to 10,000 listeners by March. I still want to do that, but I think actually doing the Patreon is going to give me a more clear central place to create things for. I think it's just, I need something clean like this, like a central hub. So it's patreon.com/unscheduled. And that's it. And speaking of like things that, if this podcast is one of these things that expresses my traits. The company I launched a couple of weeks ago called alreadythere.com. This retreat. So we're running this retreat in February. A lot of you guys are coming, which is super cool. This retreat is also the perfect example of that. That is a retreat that's built so that myself and Laura can 100% every day express what makes us unique and turn that into something very strange and an interesting product. Really, if I had thought about this earlier, then I would have said that event is under the Unscheduled brand and it would be called, you'd go to the Unscheduled website and it would be the podcast and then events. That's probably actually where I'm going to go with all of this eventually. That's what makes more sense. But the way I do things is if I have an idea, I try to get it out there as fast as possible and later I'll make it consistent. I don't care that the Area X retreat is now under the alreadythere.com brand. That doesn't matter to me. Yeah. So, with the Already There, with the retreat that's coming up in February, if this is your first time hearing about it, you can go to alreadythere.com. And there's an episode of this podcast called I'm Launching a New Company, and that sort of explains that retreat. I saw in the comments on YouTube, people are asking, what is the retreat? It's hard to describe. It's basically a creative retreat. It's an analog, no phones, no internet, creative retreat in February in Germany. There's going to be like 35 people. It's going to be really interesting. You just have to look at the website, alreadythere.com, and you'll see whether or not it scares the shit out of you. I'm genuinely excited. Looking at the people coming, I'm genuinely excited about running this. So yeah, with that, the Patreon was for me my way of saying, okay, I'm going to do this Unscheduled thing. I'm going to use this. I'm actually going to take it more seriously. I'm going to make it part of my week to work on Unscheduled as a business versus it being this side project podcast thing, which is like an outlet for me to kind of ramble, which it still will be. And that's it basically. So patreon.com/unscheduled, join the free thing, or you can also pay. By the way, just to be clear, this money is not going to me. This money is going straight into AJ&Smart, and it'll be used for making unscheduled stuff. There's no like, this is not going to be a profitable endeavor. The unscheduled, like the sort of stuff I'm doing there, I just find it more fun and exciting when people are paying for stuff. It just gives me some sort of different feeling. It's like a video gamey thing. That's what I said to my team. I was like, it needs to feel more like a video game. If people are actually paying, if people are actually like, excitedly supporting this thing, that's always how you tell if something's important to people as well. There's also a huge chance that like 3 people pay for it, and I'm like, okay, cool. That's also fine. I'll just not do the Patreon, and I'll think of a different way to approach it. But Patreon is something that I personally use. That's where I like pay for a lot of different artists or just support them. I don't really necessarily ever check their Patreon, but I use that as my way to support different artists. And yeah, it's a fun. I also like the platform. I like the CEO. It just feels like the right move for me. So that's that. I have a drink with me today. It is now. I have to give you guys an honest thing here. Two disclaimers. One, my daughter opened this last night and started drinking it. So then I was like, Mariana, it's her birthday, so I didn't want to. It's like, Mariana, I need that for my podcast tomorrow. And then she was like, oh, but I really want it. And I was like, fine, but let me have some because I need to review it right now. Okay. So what I'm holding up right now is a can, obviously, of fizzy water. Let's put on the fizzy water music. So this is sparkling water in a can. Now, if you haven't listened to any previous episodes, I review canned sparkling water, sugar-free canned sparkling water. Okay. I'm not going to go into again why. Now, this is from a company called Share. And I have to give this disclaimer. Is it a disclaimer or whatever the word is? My company, AJ&Smart, we worked with these guys before they went public with their products. We did a couple of design sprints with them maybe 10 years ago to design their sort of branding and release their first muesli bar. So this is, we did not work on this sparkling water product, but I have to say that we did this. Otherwise, I don't want to have any bias, don't want you thinking, because I think it's maybe even on our website that we worked for them. So I picked this up coincidentally in the shop, and there's nothing left in the can, so it's empty. But I can already tell you, I'm going to add it to the list now. And open up the, where the fuck is that window gone? Here we go. Sparkling water reviews. So I won't be drinking it right now, obviously, because I drank it last night. Let's change this. All right, so this is the Share, what's it called? Share, where's the mint and cucumber and mint flavor. So for me, this one is pretty good, not too sweet. It only has 1 calorie. I don't care about that part. I just don't want the sugar. Peppermint aroma. And where it falls for me is actually pretty high. So where it falls for me is just under the dash black currant. So it falls into 5th place. Share, cucumber, and lemon. No, mint, sorry. And just to be clear, I'm not giving it this high ranking because I worked for them. I do love the team. I am a big fan of the whole mission, but sparkling water rankings are brutal and intense, and I have to be as unbiased as possible. But this one truly is quite good. And I need to try some other flavors because this just wasn't personally my favorite flavor. I didn't find any others. But I want to just give that a strong 5th place, just below Dash Blackcurrant. So that the Dash ones are really, they're just the right level of sparkling, and LaCroix still dominating right up the top. It just can't be beat for now. So that is, we now have a top 11. I'll just read the top 5. LaCroix Tangerine, LaCroix Pamplemousse, Dash Grapefruit, Dash Blackcurrant, and Share Cucumber and Mint. That's our top 5 sparkling drinks currently. I really appreciate all the recommendations of sparkling waters. Do let me know in the comments on YouTube. Another thing I'm going to do on the Patreon is have a mailbox so that I will have the ability to receive your emails, and then I'll read them out on the podcast. I think that could be a fun segment. I actually used to do it before in the podcast, and then I got lazy, so I stopped doing it. So I am going to bring back sort of a mailbox thing, and what I might do is just make it so that the Patreon members can use that. Or another thing I'm thinking of doing is that the podcast also might be streamed live just to Patreon members before it actually becomes a podcast. But I'm not sure. I don't want to promise anything. Essentially, all you're doing is, if you join this Patreon, you're just enabling me to do stupid shit. That's it, okay? I wrote on the thing that when you try to buy the membership, it's like, this is definitely a bad investment, but why does it feel so good? So that's the vibe, right? If you join this Patreon. So join up on that Patreon if you're interested. Right now, it's bare bones. There's nothing much for you to get. You can also gift this to someone as well. You can gift the membership to somebody if you want to. And Merry Christmas, son. Here's a membership to this raving lunatic sparkling water guy, so you can watch his weird vlogs. Another thing I want to do for the Patreon is I'm going to do a full breakdown of my stationery setup. I want to show you how I'm using how I use my notebooks, which pens I'm using, my backpack. I want to show you my sort of everyday carry stuff. I want to get that out to you guys as well. Maybe before Christmas, before the end of the year. And Laura and I also have this idea to do a little purpose workshop, like a little virtual purpose workshop thing with the Patreon members as well. All of this is a maybe, right? If no one signs up, I'm not going to do any of this stuff. I'll just put it out on YouTube and then it's fine. We'll see, right? I just felt like doing it, and that's what it is. So I think I need to get back to, we did 40 minutes. I need to get back to Black Friday, the Black Friday campaign. Just tell you, I'm having a look here. Half-Life 3 still did not launch as we are speaking on Tuesday the 25th. For any of you guys who play video games, I'm currently playing a video game called Arc Raiders. I'm loving it. I rarely play any multiplayer games because none of my friends really play games. But I managed to convince 2 friends of mine, Eric and Andy, to join me to play that game. It's super fun. If you're looking for if you're old like me and you're not able to play these competitive multiplayer games, and you're I just wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't have the time to get good. I understand you, and this game is for you. You don't have to be good. It's good fun. You drop in as a team of 3. 2 people are just added to your team if you have no friends. Most of the time I'm playing alone. And it's actually great. It's really great. Love that game. Arc Raiders. So, all right. Got to get back to the Black Friday campaign. And I'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. I'm going to be fucking around on Patreon. Maybe I'll do some, maybe I'll get even something in there before the next podcast. And yeah, have a great, lovely, lovely Black Friday week. I hope you buy some interesting things. Let me know in the comments if you bought anything that I should also take a look at. I bought an EcoFlow. What is it, like like it's a generator, but an electric one. Basically, it's like a backup battery. I love to buy stuff. I'm a big fan of like buying things that, if the apocalypse ever came, myself and my inner circle could survive. I'm one of those guys, like a bit of a prepper. So backup generator. That's the biggest thing I bought from EcoFlow. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for supporting the podcast, for listening to this, and putting up with me trying to figure all this stuff out. If nothing else, again, from day one, this podcast was just for me to have some place to verbalize and to get some stuff out. And now I know it's also helping me just do the thing I love to do, which is the things I love to do. So I appreciate it, guys. Now, I know many people don't get to this part of the podcast, but occasionally I will get a message from someone saying something like the singing at the end of the episode was, what the hell was that? And the funny thing is, because I don't listen back, I only listen to the start of the episode after I launch just to make sure there's no audio issues. I've already forgotten about these things by the time you message me about it. So now is the first time I remember that some people get to this point. And I changed the echo on my voice to make it better. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a really, really great week. That was intense. Bye. See you later, YouTube.